Before we continue, listen closely. There are some memories that never fade, some shows that shaped who we were and how we grew up in this country. From the kitchen smells of a Saturday morning to the glow of the old family TV, Canadian shows filled our homes with warmth, laughter, and heart. And after thousands of comments on parts 1 and 2, you asked for more, much more. So today we dive even deeper into the forgotten gems, the childhood classics, and the shows that defined entire generations. This is Classic Canadian TV Shows, Part 3. A tribute to the programs you grew up with, the ones your parents watched, and the ones that still live in the heart of Canada. Let's begin. Read All About It. Read All About It was one of those Canadian shows that felt a little bigger than television. A group of kids stumbling into a secret newsroom, uncovering messages, chasing clues, and solving mysteries that adults never noticed. It blended education with adventure, but it never talked down to you. It made you feel smart, capable, like you were part of the investigation. For many of us, this was the first show that made reading, learning, and storytelling feel thrilling. Just like Mom. Before cooking shows went viral, before reality TV took over, there was Just Like Mom. Wholesome chaos in the best way. Kids cooking questionable creations, parents guessing which dish was theirs, and the legendary bake-off round that always ended in giggles. It was silly, warm, and pure, and no matter how messy those desserts looked, we all secretly wanted to try them. Yes, You Can. Yes, You Can was the show that made fitness feel fun. Mark and Phil weren't just hosts. They were coaches cheering you on through the TV screen. Jumping jacks, puzzles, games, challenges. This show kept us moving without even realizing we were exercising. It had this simple, uplifting message we still remember today. No matter who you are, no matter your age, yes, you can. Gold Trails and Ghost Towns. This one was something special. Gold Trails and Ghost Towns was like sitting around a campfire with a professional storyteller. Real history, real Canadian towns, real legends brought to life by people who genuinely loved the past. Every episode felt like a quiet step into forgotten roads, to abandoned mines, empty saloons, and stories that still echo in the mountains. It was slow, gentle, almost haunting, and completely unforgettable. Circle Square. For anyone who grew up with it, Circle Square was comfort. A kind, gentle show with simple stories about friendship, honesty, and doing the right thing. The kinds of lessons that stick with you for life. Whether it was singing along, learning something new, or just feeling safe for a little while. Circle Square gave kids a warm sense of belonging that's hard to find today. Switchback. Switchback was wild, unpredictable, and absolutely alive. It didn't feel like a scripted show. It felt like hanging out with the coolest host on TV, jumping from music videos to sketches to weird challenges that made no sense, but were always fun. No two episodes were ever the same. It captured the messy creative energy of growing up in Canada, the kind of TV that felt like it was made just for us. Corner Gas. Corner Gas wasn't just a sitcom. It was a love letter to small-town Canadian life. Dry humor, quiet moments, and characters who felt so real you could swear they lived down the road. It didn't need big drama. It found comedy in the everyday, the gas station, the coffee shop, and the simple charm of nowhere in particular. It was warm, clever, and proudly Canadian in a way that made you smile without even knowing why. Hockey Night in Canada. This wasn't a TV show. This was a weekly ritual. The theme song, the commentary, the excitement in every living room. Hockey Night in Canada shaped Saturday nights for generations. Kids in pajamas, dads cheering at the screen, families gathering around that one glowing TV. It wasn't just hockey. It was a slice of who we were, and a memory that still lives deep in Canadian hearts. Rita and Friends. Hosted by the incredible Rita McNeil, Rita and Friends was gentle, joyful, and full of heart. It brought Canadian musicians into our homes at a time when television rarely gave local talent a spotlight. Warm conversations, beautiful performances, and a kindness in Rita's voice that felt like sitting at a kitchen table with someone you trusted. It celebrated Canadian music and made every viewer feel like a friend. The Irish Rovers. The Irish Rovers brought music, comedy, and storytelling together in the most charming way. Their show was full of energy, upbeat songs, maritime humor, and that unmistakable East Coast spirit. It felt like joining a lively family gathering where someone always had a guitar ready. For many households, this show was joy, pure, simple, and impossible not to sing along with. The Trouble with Tracy. The Trouble with Tracy is one of those shows that became legendary almost by accident. Filmed fast, written fast, produced fast, and somehow that charm made it unforgettable. It was quirky, awkward, and sometimes downright strange. But for many Canadians, that was exactly why they loved it. It had this innocent, homemade feel, like watching a small theater production happening right in your living room. The Bobby Vinton Show, smooth, warm, and filled with easy charm. The Bobby Vinton Show brought music variety to Canadian TV like nothing else. Bobby's voice, his guests, his effortless stage presence, it all made the show feel classy but cozy. You didn't just watch a performance, you felt like you were part of a special evening shared across countless Canadian homes. Hammy, Hamster, Tales from the Riverbank. This one was pure magic. Real animals, tiny sets, and a narrator guiding us through whimsical adventures on the riverbank. Hammy, Roderick the rat, GP the guinea pig. These weren't just animals. They were characters we cared about. The gentle tone, the miniature props, the little boats and bicycles. It all created a world that was simple, sweet, and absolutely unforgettable. The Galloping Gourmet. Before cooking shows were everywhere, there was the Galloping Gourmet. Graham Kerr didn't just cook, he entertained. Fine dishes, cheeky humor, a glass of wine in hand, and a personality that filled the whole room. He made cooking feel joyful, exciting, even a little mischievous. For many Canadians, he was the first celebrity chef, long before the term existed. Walk with Jan. Stephen Yan brought flavor, energy, and comedy right into Canadian kitchens. Walk with Jan wasn't just a cooking show, it was a performance. The jokes, the puns, the incredible chopping skills, and of course the many hilarious aprons. He made Asian cuisine feel approachable and fun, inspiring families across Canada to try something new at home. It was food, joy, and entertainment, all in one wok. The Pig and Whistle. The Pig and Whistle took viewers straight into the heart of an old-fashioned pub, complete with lively music, folk songs, dancing, and warm laughter. It felt like being invited into a cozy gathering where everyone knew the words, everyone clapped along, and every song felt like a memory passed down. It was simple, joyful entertainment, the kind that brought families together in front of the TV, tapping their feet to timeless tunes. Cold Squad. Before crime dramas became the trend, Canada had Cold Squad. Gritty, grounded, and ahead of its time, it followed detectives digging into old, forgotten cases, searching for truth long after everyone else moved on. It wasn't about car chases or flashy action. It was about justice, about stories that deserved closure. And thanks to its powerful writing and emotional depth, Cold Squad became one of Canada's most respected dramas. Da Vinci's Inquest. Few shows captured real Canadian life like Da Vinci's Inquest. Loosely inspired by actual coroner Larry Campbell, it mixed mystery, humanity, and social truth in a way few series dared to do. It felt raw, authentic, alive. Da Vinci wasn't a superhero. He was a man trying to understand the stories behind each life lost. Every episode reminded us that behind statistics, headlines, and reports, there are people. Live It Up. Live It Up was one of Canada's most entertaining consumer help shows, way before YouTube reviews and social media took over. It tested products, reviewed gadgets, shared life tips, and exposed scams, all with humor and personality. You never knew what they were going to freeze, burn, drop, or smash to test its quality, and that's what made it so fun. It was smart, practical, and surprisingly hilarious. Prisoners of Gravity. This was one of Canada's most underrated gems. Prisoners of Gravity was made for the thinkers, the dreamers, and the sci-fi lovers. Hosted by Rick Green, it explored science fiction, comics, fantasy, philosophy, interviewing authors, creators, and the minds who shaped modern storytelling. It was thoughtful, intelligent, and decades ahead of its time. A show that proved Canadian TV could be bold, deep, and wonderfully imaginative. Every one of these shows carries a story, not just the story on the screen, but the story of where we were when we watched them. The living room carpet, the old wooden TV, the smell of dinner cooking in the background, and that quiet feeling of being home. These weren't just programs. They were moments in time, pieces of a Canada that shaped us, taught us, and stayed with us. Thank you for taking this trip with me. Your memories in the comments bring these shows back to life, and they mean more to me than you know. If this brought back even one good memory, please consider subscribing. Even one subscribe makes a huge difference and helps keep these stories alive. Until next time. This is Classical Canada, where memories never fade.